Did you know that INFJs, or introverted intuitive feeling judging personalities, make up less than 2% of the global population? Yes, you heard it right, less than 2%. Now that's something to ponder. So what sets these INFJs apart from the rest of the world? Well, quite a bit actually. For starters, they possess a unique blend of traits that make them stand out from the crowd. They're known for their deep empathy, their introverted nature, and their ability to understand complex concepts. It's like they're tuned into a different frequency, picking up on things that others often miss. Their deep empathy, for instance, allows them to connect with people on a profound level, understanding emotions and thoughts that others struggle to comprehend. This isn't because they're mind readers, but because they're deeply attuned to the emotional world around them. They can feel what others are feeling, making them incredible friends, partners, and confidants. Then there's their introverted nature. INFJs, despite their deep empathy, often need time alone to recharge, to process their thoughts, and to just be. It's not that they don't enjoy socializing, they do, but they also value their solitude. It's a delicate balance that they navigate with grace and poise. And let's not forget their knack for understanding complex concepts. INFJs have a unique way of looking at the world. They see patterns, connections, and possibilities that others often overlook. This makes them excellent problem solvers and creative thinkers, bringing a fresh and insightful perspective to any situation. So, next time you meet someone who seems to understand you better than you understand yourself, you might just be talking to an INFJ. Remember, they're a rare breed, making up less than 2% of the population, but their impact, that's immeasurable. They're the quiet heroes of our world, making it a better place through their empathy, their insight, and their unique way of seeing things. INFJs are known as the advocates, often found championing causes and people they believe in. This personality type, which makes up less than 2% of the population, is characterized by a quiet intensity and a burning desire to make the world a better place. So, what makes INFJs tick? Let's dive a little deeper. Firstly, INFJs hold strong values. They have an innate sense of idealism and morality, but what sets them apart is the will and determination to push their ideals into action. They're not idle dreamers, but people capable of taking concrete steps to realize their goals. Secondly, INFJs are intuitive. They trust their gut feelings and value their inner voice. This intuitive nature allows them to see the big picture and make connections that others may miss. It's like they have an internal compass guiding them towards their true north. Thirdly, INFJs crave deep, meaningful relationships. They're not interested in surface-level interactions or small talk. They seek authenticity and depth in their connections with others. You might say they're like gold miners digging beneath the surface to find the real treasure within. And let's not forget their empathetic nature. INFJs have a knack for understanding the feelings and motivations of others. This ability to empathize makes them excellent listeners and trusted confidants. They're the kind of friends who will sit with you in the dark until you find your light again. Lastly, INFJs are creative and enjoy expressing their ideas and insights through writing or other creative outlets. They have a rich inner world and often use art as a way to communicate their deep thoughts and feelings. Despite their many strengths, INFJs are not without their vulnerabilities, which brings us to the next section of our discussion. Imagine telling a fish to climb a tree. It's as futile as using certain phrases with INFJs. Now let's dive into the deep end and explore those phrases that can unintentionally hurt our INFJ friends. First up, we have the classic, "You're too sensitive." This phrase can be particularly damaging to INFJs. Why? Because INFJs are naturally empathetic and feel things deeply. Telling them they're too sensitive is like telling a bird it flies too much. It's part of their nature, and it's something they can't and shouldn't have to change. Next on our list is the ever so common, "Why can't you just go with the flow?" INFJs are strategic thinkers and planners. They like to have a clear vision of where they're going and how they're going to get there. Asking them to just go with the flow is akin to asking a chess player to make a move without thinking. It goes against their very nature. Another phrase to avoid is, "You're overthinking this." INFJs are natural problem solvers. They like to analyze situations from every angle to ensure they're making the best possible decision. Telling them they're overthinking is like telling a detective they're paying too much attention to details. It's how they operate, and it's what makes them unique. Finally, steer clear of saying, "You need to get out more." INFJs are introverts, and they value their alone time. It's when they recharge, reflect, and process their experiences. Suggesting they need to be more social can make them feel misunderstood and undervalued. In conclusion, these phrases can be harmful to INFJs because they disregard and devalue their inherent qualities and ways of processing the world. Remember, words can impact an INFJ deeply, so choose them wisely. By understanding and respecting their unique traits, you can foster a more meaningful and positive communication with the INFJs in your life. And isn't that what we all want, to understand and be understood? Words can be as sharp as a double-edged sword, especially for someone as sensitive as an INFJ. Now, let's delve into the impact of harmful phrases on INFJs. INFJs, being the introspective souls they are, often replay conversations in their minds. This means a single hurtful comment can echo in their thoughts for days, weeks, or even longer. It's not that they're overly dramatic, but their deeply reflective nature means they're likely to take things to heart. When harmful phrases are thrown their way, it can seriously affect their emotional well-being. They might feel misunderstood or invalidated, which can lead to feelings of isolation. This can be particularly damaging for INFJs, who already often feel like they're on the fringes, marching to the beat of their own drum. But it's not just about immediate emotional distress. Harmful words can also impact an INFJ's self-perception. They're prone to self-doubt and can be their own harshest critics. When negative comments align with their insecurities, it only feeds their self-doubt and can erode their self-confidence. Imagine a garden. Each derogatory phrase is like a weed, slowly spreading and choking the life out of the beautiful flowers. The garden is the INFJ's self-esteem, and the flowers represent their positive self-perception. When harmful phrases are used, it's like planting more weeds in their garden, making it harder for the flowers to flourish. It's also important to remember, INFJs are great at picking up on underlying meanings and unsaid emotions. This means they're not just affected by what you say but how you say it. A sarcastic tone or dismissive attitude can be just as damaging as the words themselves. So, let's be kind with our words. Let's remember that everyone, especially INFJs, are navigating their own internal battles. Our words have power. They can lift someone up or push them down. They can inspire or they can wound. They can affirm or they can invalidate. So, before you speak, take a moment to consider how your words might affect an INFJ. Now let's turn the tables and explore how to communicate positively with INFJs. Communication is a two-way street, and when it comes to INFJs, it's no different. So how can you effectively engage an INFJ in a conversation that is both meaningful and enjoyable for them? It's simpler than you might think. Firstly, honesty is the best policy. INFJs appreciate authenticity and transparency in communication. They have a knack for detecting insincerity, so it's best to be upfront and genuine. Keep in mind, however, that being honest doesn't mean being blunt or tactless. An INFJ values tactful honesty, so it's important to deliver your thoughts with care and respect. Next, show empathy. INFJs are naturally empathetic, and they respond well to others who can match their level of emotional understanding. They appreciate when someone can see the world from their perspective, and this can help build a deeper bond. But remember, empathy isn't about simply agreeing with an INFJ. It's about understanding their feelings and viewpoints, even if you don't necessarily share them. Lastly, respect their need for personal space. INFJs, like all introverted personality types, need time alone to recharge. This isn't a reflection on you or your relationship with them, but rather their way of processing the world around them. So, if an INFJ needs a moment to themselves, don't take it personally. Instead, respect their boundaries and give them the space they need. Remember, INFJs are deep thinkers and feelers, and they appreciate when others can respect and understand this. By practicing honesty, empathy, and respect for personal space, you're not only catering to an INFJ's communication style, but you're also setting the stage for a meaningful and fulfilling relationship. By understanding and respecting an INFJ's needs, you can build a strong, meaningful connection with them. And isn't that what communication is all about? Making connections, building bridges, and understanding one another on a deeper level. So the next time you engage with an INFJ, remember these tips and watch how your communication blossoms. Empathy isn't just about feeling for others, it's about understanding them. In this world where we're often too focused on ourselves, the power of empathy can sometimes be forgotten. It's not simply about putting yourself in someone else's shoes, but about truly understanding their perspective, their feelings, their motivations. It's about seeing the world through their eyes, even if just for a moment. And when it comes to INFJs, this ability to empathize is crucial. You see, INFJs are complex, introspective individuals who often feel things deeply. They see the world in layers of meaning, often picking up on subtleties that others may miss. They're not always easy to understand, but that's where the magic of empathy comes in. Empathy allows us to bridge the gap between our own experiences and those of others. It's the tool we use to connect with people on a deeper level, to understand their unique viewpoints, their personal struggles, their inner world. And for INFJs, who are often misunderstood or misinterpreted, this empathetic understanding can be a breath of fresh air. Empathy doesn't mean you have to agree with everything someone else feels or believes. It's not about endorsing their actions or their decisions, it's about acknowledging their humanity, recognizing their feelings as valid, and seeking to understand their perspective. It's about connection and understanding. For INFJs, empathy is a two-way street. They're often the ones offering empathy to others, understanding and supporting them in their struggles, but they also crave that same understanding and support in return. They crave the feeling of being seen, of being understood, of being acknowledged. So, the next time you find yourself in conversation with an INFJ, remember the power of empathy. Take a moment to really listen, to really understand, to really see them. It may not be easy, but it will be worth it. Because empathy doesn't just bring us closer to others, it brings us closer to our own humanity. Remember, empathy is the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of INFJs. Now that you understand INFJs a bit better, it's time to put your knowledge into action. Yes, it's your turn to step up and make a difference. Because change, my friends, begins with us. And it's those small shifts in understanding and behavior that can have a monumental impact. You see, every time we interact with someone, we have a choice. We can choose to perpetuate stereotypes and misunderstandings, or we can choose to educate ourselves and foster meaningful connections. And you've already taken the first step by watching this video. So what's next? Well, let me tell you, it's about applying what you've learned. You've got this newfound understanding of INFJs, their sensitivities, their strengths, and what you should avoid saying to them. Now, it's time to wield this knowledge like a skilled conversationalist at a dinner party. Imagine how much more meaningful your interactions could be if you took these insights to heart. Think about that INFJ in your life. Maybe it's your friend, your colleague, or even your partner, and how you can improve your relationship with them. And remember, it's not just about INFJs. This is about fostering empathy and understanding for all personality types. It's about creating a world where we celebrate our differences rather than using them as a source of division. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Try it out for yourself and see the difference it makes. And while you're at it, why not share this journey of discovery with others? And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, share it with your friends, and press the like button for more self-motivating and uplifting tips. Because knowledge is not meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be shared. So let's come together and create a community of understanding, one YouTube video at a time. Remember, every voice matters, and together we can make a difference. So are you in? Let's get started then. Understanding INFJs is not a simple task, but it's certainly a rewarding one. As we wrap up today's journey into the world of INFJs, let's recap some of the main points we've touched on. Firstly, we discussed the surprising fact that INFJs, though rare, are incredibly influential personalities. They are the advocates, the dreamers, and the idealists that drive change in our world. In our quest to understand INFJs, we delved into their unique characteristics and traits. We learned that they are introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging individuals who value deep relationships, authenticity, and purpose. We then ventured into the sensitive topic of what not to say to an INFJ. We explored how certain phrases and words can cause emotional pain and discomfort to these sensitive souls. It's essential to remember that words matter, especially to an INFJ. We highlighted the impact of harmful phrases on INFJs, emphasizing the importance of mindful communication. We learned that our words can either build bridges or create walls. It's up to us to choose which. Next, we discussed positive communication with INFJs. We realized that empathy, understanding, and authenticity are key to effectively communicating with these individuals. It's not about saying the right thing, but about showing up with the right heart. We also touched on the power of empathy. In a world that can often feel cold and disconnected, empathy is the bridge that connects us. It helps us understand each other better, fostering deeper connections and mutual understanding. Lastly, we encouraged you to continue learning about INFJs, to explore their world, and to appreciate their unique perspective. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, every personality is a world to be discovered, so keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing. And if you found this video enlightening, do subscribe to our channel and share the video with others. Let's spread the word and create a more understanding and empathetic world together. So until next time, keep your communication lines open, your heart understanding, and your mind curious. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, every personality is a world to be discovered, so keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing.